So hello learner, once again I welcome on the class of Foundation Engineering. So I hope you all are safe and healthy. So in the previous class we have discussed about the standard penetration test, and in standard penetration test we have seen how to perform this test, and after that how do we take the value of n observed, that means number of blows, and after that we have applied the two correction. The first one is overloaded correction and the second one is dilatancy correction. So today I will discuss the second in situ test, that is cone penetration test. And in cone penetration test, I will discuss the static cone penetration test and dynamic cone penetration test. And in the last, I will discuss the plate load test. And with the help of this plate load test, how do we compute the bearing capacity of the soil, settlement of the footing, and allowable bearing pressure on the soil. So today I will discuss about the cone penetration test. Cone penetration test. Cone penetration test. There are two types of cone penetration test. The first one is static cone penetration test, that is called SCPT, and dynamic cone penetration test, DCPT. Firstly, I will discuss the SCPT, static cone penetration test. So this test is also called cone penetration test or Dutch cone penetration test. This test is suitable. This test is used to compute bearing capacity of soil, and this type of test is suitable for soft clay, silt, and medium sand. So this test is suitable for soft clay, silt, and medium sand. So this is the cone and this is the load cell, or this is called friction sleeve, and this is the rod. So this is the cone having apex angle is 60 degree and the base area is 10 centimeter per meter square. And this cone is the cone and the sleeve is pushed into the ground surface, and we will measure the cone resistance and the frictional resistance of the sleeve. And with the help of this cone resistance and frictional resistance of this sleeve, we will compute the friction ratio. So if I make the arrangements of cone of stainless steel having apex angle 60 degree and base area is 10 centimeter is used. If I see, so this is our cone, and this angle is 60 degree and the base area is 10 centimeter per 10 centimeter square. Cone is attached with sleeve and cone resistance QC and sleeve and frictional resistance of sleeve is computed. that is called Fs. With the help of cone resistance QC and sleeve frictional resistance, we compute friction ratio, and friction ratio is the ratio of sleeve frictional resistance divided by cone resistance into 100, and the value of this friction ratio is between 0 to 100%. For granular soil, this value will be lesser, and for the fine soil like clay and silt, it will be the higher value. So this is all about the cone penetration test. Now I am going to discuss the dynamic cone penetration test. So in dynamic cone penetration test, this is called DCPT. So in dynamic cone penetration test, a hammer of 65 kg is taken and height of fall is 75 centimeter. So hammer weight is 65 kg and height of fall is 75 centimeter, and with the help of this loading and height of fall, a cone is pushed into the soil at the rate of 20 mm per second. And here is also, it is a SCPT test, the cone resistance is pushed into the soil at the rate of 10 mm per second to 20 mm per second, and cone resistance and frictional sleeve resistance is measured. Here the arrangement is different, like the SPT test, weight of hammer is 65 kg and height of fall is 75 centimeter. So from here cone resistance is computed, and this cone resistance is compared with the bearing capacity of the soil. So if I talk about the third test, that is plate load test. So the plate load test, this test is suitable for cohesionless soil. So plate load test is suitable for the cohesionless soil, and in this test, with the help of this test, we can compute bearing capacity of soil, settlement of foundation itself, and allowable pressure due to the settlement of the footing can be computed. And in plate load test, a trench having dimension having width of 5 times the width of the plate, and the size, the shape of the plate is either rectangular or circular, and with the help of the size of the plate is taken as 300 mm to 750 mm, like 300 mm, 450, 600 and 750 mm. And this is the loading arrangement. We can see this is the plate having, let us assume, so the size is BP, so, and this is the trench. So the width of the trench is 5 times the width of plate, and with the help of this hydraulic jack, and the loading is applied, and the load and the settlement is recorded with the help of this dial gauge. And once we get the value of load settlement curve, load and settlement, so a graph is drawn between the load and settlement, and with the help of that load and settlement curve, we can compute the ultimate bearing capacity of the soil. So if I write plate is taken either a square or circular shape. The size of the plate is taken as 300 mm to 750 mm, and the size can be taken as 300 mm, 450 mm, 600 mm and 750 mm. The width of the trench is 5 times the width of plate, and settlement of the plate is recorded for different load at the time interval of 1 minute, 2.25 minute, 4.25 minute, 4 minutes, 6.25 minutes, and after that 9 minutes, 12 minutes, 25 minutes and 1 hour. So this is the time. With the help of that we can measure the settlement value. Once we get the value of load settlement, so it is 9 minutes, here is also 16 minutes, not 12 minutes, and 25 minutes, 1 hour. So the settlement of the plate is recorded for the different load at the time interval of 1 minute, 2.25 minute, this is 4 minute, 6.25 minute, 9 minutes, 16 minutes, and 25 minutes and 1 hour. So a load settlement curve, load settlement data we have. So this is the load and this is the settlement. Let's say at load P1 the settlement is S1, at load P2 the settlement is S2, P3 S3, P4 S4, P5 S5. So these are the load settlement is recorded, and with the help of this load settlement data, a load settlement curve is drawn. So this is the load and this is the settlement. Let us assume the load settlement curve is coming like that. So the maximum at which the soil will fail, so that load is taken, and this will be the QUP. Let us assume if the load settlement curve is like that. So just draw a tangent from here and draw a tangent from here. So it will cut at this point. So with the help of that you have to measure the load and QUP can be computed. So we can write, let us assume this is curve first and this is curve 2. So in curve first, the failure load is very easily failure load is can be we can see the failure load very easily, but in load 2 it is very difficult to identify the failure load. So what we will do, draw a tangent from the origin and draw a tangent from here. So these two tangents at cut at any point. So from that vertical line is drawn and the load is measured, and with the help of by dividing the area we can compute the ultimate bearing capacity. So this is the we can write and the settlement computed in plate load test is immediate settlement, because it is short duration test. So in short duration test, the settlement is computed is immediate settlement. Similarly, I told you that there are two types of graph. One graph is like that. So the maximum load is taken, and by dividing the area we can compute the QUP. This is settlement and load, and this is assume curve first. Similarly, if the load settlement curve is like that, this is load and this is settlement, and it is like that. So draw a tangent from here. So this is the tangent, and draw a tangent here. So it will cut at this point, and this will be the load QUP. So this is also tangent. So this will be the QUP. Now we can compute the ultimate bearing capacity. So computation of ultimate bearing capacity. So let QUF is the ultimate bearing capacity of footing, QUP is the ultimate bearing capacity of plate. Similarly, BF is the width of footing, and BP is the width of plate. So for clayey soil, the ultimate bearing capacity of the footing will be exactly same as plate. So for sandy soil, the ratio of ultimate bearing capacity of the footing to the ultimate bearing capacity of the plate is equal to the width of the footing to the width of plate. But in case of clay soil, we have seen the ultimate bearing capacity of footing is exactly equal to the ultimate bearing capacity of the plate. After that, settlement can be computed. So let SF be the settlement of footing and SP be the settlement of settlement of plate. So in case of clay soil, we can write SF by SP is equal to BF by BP. And in case of sandy soil, the ratio of SF by SP is equal to, can be written as BF by BP into BP plus 0.3 divided by BF plus 0.3 whole square. So with the help of this relation, we can compute the settlement of footing or plate. But remember in mind that here the width of the plate and width of the footing are we have to put as a meter, because this 0.3 is meter. So width of the plate and width of the footing will be put in the meter, otherwise it will be the mistake. So this is all about the plate load test, and we can see that the bearing capacity, how to compute the bearing capacity and the settlement of the footing and plate. So dear student, today I have discussed about the cone penetration test, and in cone penetration test I have discussed about the static cone penetration test and dynamic cone penetration test. And after that I have discussed the plate load test, and in plate load test I have discussed how do we perform the plate load test in the field, and after that how to compute the bearing capacity and settlement for clay soil and for the sandy soil. So in the next class I will discuss the some problems related to the plate load test, and after that I will discuss what is Hausdorff equation.